Hello and welcome back to another When Should I Pick Blank character review, and today we are going over D.va. Now I know I've said that I was going to cover the Echo Duplicate tier list. I want to make sure that I actually have more time to do that, and I can make sure that I refine it, write some things out so that we can get that to you guys, and it's a lot more precise. Rather, something like these character lists is something that isn't really going to change for quite some time, since I don't really think there's going to be a lot of balance changes within Overwatch 1. With the fact that Overwatch 2 is coming soon, and that's their main focus. But yeah, today we're doing D.va because I feel like D.va is a tank that a lot of people aren't quite understanding at most levels, even at the highest level too. Most of the time, I know I said last week that Zarya has her ups and downs, but D.va is usually better just because of her speed. So today we're going to be looking over who D.va really synergizes well with. I only have like 20 minutes before stream, and if you do want to catch those streams, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 4 p.m. EST. But let's actually start right now because I only do have 20 minutes, and let's get the chase. Alright, so Ana. On number 1, I think Ana, she's decent with D.va, but there's definitely better characters that are going to help synergize with her a little bit better than the list. That being said, I still think Ana's an A tier, just because D.va, I prefer playing D.va in a more of a dive sense, and that's kind of where she shines the best. That being said, she's also very, very good into Brawl, but I mean, the reason, well, let's just get Bap out of the way. The reason why I want to put Bap at B is because the thing with Bap is that, like, he's only good in Brawl. Now, when Bap is meta, D.va's also very, very strong with the Baptiste, and I could argue even putting him above Ana in the current meta, but I think synergistically, the reason why these characters work so well, the Bap and the D.va work so well together, is not because of the synergy they have, but more so the power creep that Bap has had on, and the effect that he has had on the game. If Bap gets nerfed, I don't think you're going to be seeing Bap and D.va paired a lot. But the reason why it works so well right now is that Bap can play so fast because of his just raw numbers, the immortality field. I could go on for hours and hours, and honestly, I might in a different video about why I think Bap is so busted. But I think this is really important to start off, just to set the tone for the entire review. But let's keep going here. Ashe, I'm going to put C tier. I don't really think D.va is good with Ashe. I don't think she's bad with Ashe either. A character like Sigma, a character like an Orisa, you're going to see Ashe much higher on those lists when I get to those tanks. The thing is with Ashe is that her dynamite is like the only real thing that maybe D.va could capitalize on. If you hit a big dynamite on like the backline, maybe the D.va can do a jet in with micro missiles. That's a possibility. Besides that, there isn't really a whole lot of synergy, but it's not necessarily like it's bad either. You can still run Ball D.va and have an Ashe if you really want to. I would just prefer a Ball Sig if I were to be running an Ashe. Bastion, I'm just going to put D tier. It's really not that bad, but the thing is that you'd rather just have a shield, you'd rather just have a Sigma, so why not just use Sigma, you know? And we're going to cover that in the weeks to come when we go over those tanks, but let's move on to Brigitte. Now, I don't think Brigitte is awesome with D.va in terms of their synergy together, but what I must say is that Brigitte can alleviate the stress of the D.va to have to look at the backline. So if I'm running Zen Brig, the D.va can play a little bit more aggressive when opportunities are given to the D.va, because the Brig can take away the threat of the backline dying. Before, when Brig wasn't even in the game, D.va had to like go back and forth, and this was really fun. D.va had to go back and forth between, well, do I peel for backline or do I support the front line? And it was a back and forth battle the whole time. Now that Brig exists, it kind of can take a little bit of that pressure off of the D.va and put it more into the front line. Sorry if my hand blocks the camera there. More into the front line. And that's, I mean, while they might not synergize perfectly together, I think the synergy lies with not the numbers, and that's why I rate it higher, but the whole ideas of the character. It's not directly synergistic, but indirectly synergistic, helping each other out do their thing. Doomfist, I can't really be putting above these characters. The thing with the D.va is that she wants to be extremely aggressive. The thing is with Doom is that I think he engages the fastest out of any character in the game. Now, I'm probably wrong about that, but the way that he wants to play, if a D.va wants to support the Doomfist, she can. I'm actually going to put this B tier, I think. I think she can support a Doomfist. The thing is that if you do support a Doomfist and dive in with the Doomfist, so say this hand is Doomfist and this is D.va, you can DM the Doom, sure, but that's only for 2 seconds. And by that time, the Doom has a way out, and you don't. That's a problem. Now, that being said, if the whole team goes with the Doom and it's just a big death ball, that's good. If not, it kind of makes D.va a little bit obsolete when you pair it with a Zarya, which is much better with a Doom. But yeah, let's keep going here. Echo. I think D.va's very good against an Echo. In terms of with an Echo, I can also say it would be pretty decent. I don't know if it'll be much better than these characters here. I do want to put it mid A tier. Reason being, if you're running an Echo, you're likely running against a Pharmacy or another Echo. So that's just one reason why D.va would be good. The other reason is if you are running Zen Brig, which is very popular if you're going to be running a D.va with a ball right now, if you can discord that Echo or the Pharah and help the Echo with winning that aerial 1v1, because microjets, jumping, jetpack, whatever have you, it makes your life a lot easier on Echo. So I think the synergy is there as well. In terms of DM, it's not super great, but the value is still there somewhere. Let's see, time check. All right, we got 7 minutes on the clock. If you guys have been watching this far, I really appreciate you. And let me know if you have any questions down below, but let's keep going here. Genji's kind of on the same boat as Doomfist. I think it's a little bit better because Genji doesn't have a way out unless he kills. So he has to not play as aggressive. Now, that being said, I still don't think it's fantastic. I think a Zarya would be better, just because Ana works better with the Zarya anyways, and we'll get to those S tiers as we move on here. Hanzo, I'm gonna put next to Ashe, just because if you do find a body shot and it's not a headshot, the D.va can finish that off, and Hanzo's a very versatile character, so I don't want to put it D tier. I want to put very small amounts of characters in these low ranks, because I don't think it's awful. I just don't think it's fantastic either. Obviously, Zarya is better. We covered that last week. And Junkrat's very good. D.va's very good against Junkrat, but with Junkrat, I'm gonna have to put it T tier. Bastion, it's just not as consistent as a Hanzo. And you need more consistency and speed when you play a D.va. Now, again, if it was double shield, that's a different scenario. If you want to run a Rein, it's a little bit better. It's just Junkrat D.va, I don't see the synergy there. Now, I'm not a god tier junk player by any means, and Aquamarine could correct me if I'm wrong, but personally, I just don't think it's that great. And that moves us on to Lucio. Easily an S tier character for D.va here. I mean, D.va's whole kit is about playing fast right now. I don't think you need to be playing Lucio every single time, but in the right compositions, it is a must pick. If you're running a brawl comp with D.va, you need to have a Lucio. It's just that simple, because D.va only gets value over Zarya if she's playing fast, and she can be very aggressive, eat damage within 2 seconds, and win the fight. That's just kind of how D.va works right now, and let's move on to Kree. Kree, here's the thing, these characters seem like it seems like Kree wouldn't do very well with a D.va, but the thing is that the aggression that D.va can create lets Kree also be more aggressive, which in turn makes both characters better. Now, the reason why I like this is because to be aggressive as Kree and D.va combined, you're not wasting your mech to help this Kree be aggressive. You're not wasting your jets and your life to make sure the Kree does things. Meanwhile, with a Doom and a Genji, it's a little bit different. Same kind of idea with the Mei. If you want to play aggressive, the Mei can really benefit from having a D.va in the front line so that the Mei can freeze, the Mei can wall, and focus on other things. And you're not going to lose your D.va mech because of this. And I don't think I have to really explain too much more on that, but just let me know if you have questions down below. Alright, anyways, Mercy, I think is a little bit better than she was with Zarya, but it's still nothing fantastic. The only reason why I'm also going to pull out Pharah here is I think Pharmacy can work with the D.va. I just don't think there's a direct synergy. Like, maybe I move this to low B tier. I think it's, yeah, I think I'm going to move it to mid B tier. This combo is kind of in the same realm where it's like, these characters benefit greatly off of having a D.va. These characters still benefit, but it's not like crazy. It's not like this is the character you should be picking. The thing is that when you run a Mercy, you run an Ana, and thus in the dive comp, the D.va has to play a lot slower. It's almost to the point where why don't you just play double bubble? Or why don't you just play, I don't know, Ball Zarya with a pharmacy? That being said, I don't think it's impossible, and I don't think it's quite C tier. It's just very average. If that's just my personal opinion here. And if you have any questions, again, let me know. Moira, I'm feeling an immediate S tier. The only reason why she's not great with D.va right now is because Moira isn't very good. Because BAP is very strong. If you see BAP getting nerfed, Moira is going to be the support to play with D.va. The only problem with Moira with D.va is if the map has more vertical high ground, and you need more vertical mobility than horizontal, because Moira has no vertical mobility unless there's like very niche situations where you can do wall jumps, but we won't get into that. But yeah, I think the main theme here is that D.va wants to play fast. D.va wants to get in people's faces. Moira wants to do the same thing because all she does is heal, so she wants to make sure that you're not taking unnecessary poke. Even though she can heal that up, she wants to make sure that her resources are staying max, so that when the fight actually breaks out, she's ready to keep the team alive, essentially. Right now, it's just not very good, but the thing is, the synergy is still very, very strong. It still can be utilized in, honestly, most ranks. I would say most ranks, this is still going to work, unless they play BAP, and then BAP is just so busted right now, so... Orisa, I'm going to put as our B tier tank today. For D.va, right? Yeah, I'm gonna put it as our top B tier tank. Here's the thing: I think Fire and Ice. If you guys aren't familiar with what the comp is, it is Orisa, D.va, Torb, Mei, BAP, Lucio, or BAP Brig. There's a lot of variations within that. But the main thing is here with the Orisa is that you can eat the enemy pools, you can be more aggressive when you actually hit big dynamites, and it can cause a lot of value that it's hard to find. And that's why it's not much higher than B, but when you play it correctly, it's very strong. I still think Double Shield is good, but if you need to pull out like a Joker pick, I think the Orisa D.va is deserving of a top B tier rating. Reaper, again, fits with the motif that D.va kind of puts together here. Play fast, get in their face, and let him really do whatever he wants. If a Reaper does, if you don't have healing, but you have a D.va alive that has 2 seconds of DM, which I mean, if your healers are dead, okay, that makes sense, but you're not going to get slept when he's in, Reaper ult? Is that Death Blossom? He's not going to get slept with Death Blossom. He can engage really hard. That's really good. Same thing with Rein. I think Rein D.va is honestly better than Rein Zarya. Because in the current meta, Rein does better if he plays faster. Now, obviously, if some things get tweaked, that's going to change, but I think that makes sense, especially since we've been watching Overwatch League. I mean, Ryan Sig obviously is very, very good when you run the sim, and there's a lot of different counterplay in there, but I still think that kind of makes sense. D.va Hog, I mean, guys. I don't think I have to say a whole lot about this. I mean, sure, you can DM like hooks if it was in a mirror, but no one should be playing Hog. Because Hog's just not good at the current moment. I mean, he's decent, but if you're going to run a Hog, you should be running an Orisa or a Sig, because the shields are better against Hog. D.va's just kind of... There's just nothing really great here. I think it might be a little bit better than Bastion. Maybe I'll get it a little bit higher for the Roadhog Copium, but I'm just going to keep it there for now. Sigma... I think Sigma kind of functions like a mini Reinhardt in lower ranks, so I'm going to put it low B tier, but that's also because I'm going to be putting Zarya in low C tier, because I don't want to have too many tanks low. I don't think I have to say too much about this. I think D.va Sig is like, it's just not good, and I'd rather not, but it's not like it's gonna lose me the game in Masters. Or, I mean, even high GM if your tanks are good enough at those characters. It's not like an insta-loss. Meanwhile, if you run a D.va Zarya, it's pretty much an insta-loss. Those two, I don't think I've ever seen two people actually pick D.va and Zarya. They do the same thing, just different ways. And when you have two characters that do the same thing but are conflicting in terms of speed, tempo, and how they want to play, it doesn't work out very well, you know? It doesn't work out too well. And I think that makes sense. Soldier, I think, honestly might be up there, because, again, D.va wants to play fast, Soldier kind of wants to flank, and Soldier is very self-sufficient, meaning that the D.va doesn't need to really focus on someone else to BM. She can just be more aggressive or focus more on keeping the backline alive. It's kind of the same thing with Sombra here. D.va does very well with these characters because these characters can engage fast. They work very well in a dive, and D.va doesn't have to really worry about them. And let's look at a character like Sim that's not as self-sufficient. She struggles a lot more. Now, I think it's a little bit better than Zarya. It's not a game changer by any means. And in fast rush compositions, maybe the Symmetra wants to be played with the D.va, even though I think Sim would be a little bit better. That's why I'm going to keep it at C tier. The whole motif here is, can you engage fast is one thing, and two, are you self-sufficient if you're playing more of a dive character? Those are kind of the big things that you have to think about when you're picking a D.va. And when you're playing at a very high level, D.va tends to do a lot better. Torb, I know we were talking about Fire and Ice earlier. I'm gonna put him in just the middle. I think D.va Torb is decent. It's not game changing. Maybe I'll put it lower. I'll put it above the Sig. I just think Torb is kind of like... Torb is just a good pick all the time, to be honest with you. Well, most of the time, I should say. But... yeah, I don't know. I don't think I need to explain this too much. I think Torb works better with other tanks, like an Orisa. But it's not awful with D.va. And Tracer, oh my god. I have to put Tracer up here with Night Races around. They're basically bread and butter. I mean, if you're going to run a D.va, Tracer is going to be picked most of the time. I'm sure there's some analytics on that. I think Tracer Ball is just a little bit better in terms of the synergy, but the D.va is pretty much a must in that comp because you need something that's going to engage with that. So when it's also just because of the way the Tracer functions as a character, yada yada yada. Let's keep going here. Widow, I think, is kind of on the same plane as Hanzo, except Hanzo's more versatile, therefore Widow is a little bit worse in the synergy there. I don't think I have to put too much work into that. I want to keep you guys going here. Winston, I'm gonna have to put top A tier. It's just not as strong as it used to be because Ball is in the game. Now, I don't know which characters synergize better. I'm going to say Ball is more consistent because Ryan has more options. Now that Ball, we've talked about this a lot in the series. The Ball and all these other characters like Moira and Bap have changed the synergies and how these characters interact throughout the years that this game has been out. And it should be to no surprise that Ball D.va is very, very strong. Now, Winston D.va is still very strong, and it's probably better at lower ranks because the Balls don't really know what they're doing. But when your Ball is very, very good, that's typically when you're going to be playing D.va as well, because D.va is a much harder tank to master, in my opinion, than Zarya. So naturally the Ball is going to be doing better. This is all just a matter of opinion. Honestly, you could just interchange both of these, and maybe you could argue that Winston's later will be up here. But currently, I think Winston does better with Zarya. Ball does better with D.va. That could change with time, and we've seen it. But that's more of a numbers thing than a synergy thing. They're all very, very strong in their own right. I personally prefer the Ball D.va. I think it's a very unique composition. And then this, last but not least, we got Zenyatta. I personally think Zenyatta is very, very good with a D.va. The thing is that you need to pair it with the Brig, so I'm going to put it right next to the Brig. I'm going to put it below a little bit, just because D.va will have to make sure that Zen is alive if the Brig is not in existence. The thing is with Discord is that if you can Discord a flying target, D.va can take that out on her own, and that makes it easier to carry within role queue. But yeah, that's all I really have to say with this today, guys. I do want to keep it below 20 minutes. If you made it this far, just let me know. I really, really appreciate you guys watching. If you need people to talk to that have similar interests and want to improve just like you do, Discord link down in the description. But until next time, I've got to peace out and pass out. See you in the next one.